Our overall electricity demand over the next 10 years is expected to go 2.5x of where they are today. Which means over the last 80 years, let's say since independence, the grid that we've set up, can we do it again in the next 10 years? It's a very complex area where you assume something is given for you. You've never thought about energy in your life. But when you dig deeper, you realize there is so much of change that is happening that it is just incredible.
Correct.
Right? Think about our energy consumption. Indian homes have been living at 1.5 kilowatt of power. Obviously, now with lifestyle changing, this has moved to 3, 4 with ACs, etc. coming in. Now moving to 8, 9 with EVs coming in, right? So there's a significant shift in what every home needs. And we're talking only homes here. Obviously, there's industry, there's the other part of the economy that needs it. But if you focus on homes, our per capita consumption is one of the lowest across the world, right? 0.5 kilowatt per capita,
Right.
which is 1/10 of what US does. China is 4x.
Right.
Even countries like Brazil, Nigeria, they are more than they're 2x of what India's energy consumption is.
Correct.
So obviously, there's only one way that this is going to go,
Yes.
and it's going to significantly increase.
And as we kept digging through this, we figured that access, and while the government has been trying to solve for access,
Right.
the same way that they solved for access to water in the past, they've been solving for access to power as well.
Yes.
But what has not gotten solved for is the quality of power that people get, right? And the quality of power, it could mean 2, 3 things. One is intermittency, which is you don't have power for 2 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right. And when we were growing up, even in tier 1 metro cities, we used to have load shedding, except maybe in some parts of Bombay, where that did not exist even then. But I used to go to Calcutta to my relative's house, and load shedding was a common term. Every day, power would not be there for 3 hours in the afternoon.
Correct.
You would not be
And that's a way of life.
Correct. That's a way of life. As children, you would be out.
Ah.
Right. So that's something that you get used to. But if we look at that, it doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
But what definitely continues to happen is our voltage fluctuations. And hence people buy voltage stabilizers to ensure that their equipments or appliances don't get fried whenever there are voltage fluctuations that happen. Power cuts still exist. And as we've seen tier 1 cities grow, and we've seen this in Bangalore as well. People are coming in, houses are getting built, land parcels are getting sanctioned, but power situation is not in line with the rate at which the country is growing, right? And that is the part where I think we still have a problem to solve.
And the challenge is, at least most of us, right? Our circle, our network, we're living in the center of cities. We don't realize this problem at all, right? Most of us have backups where we don't even realize there's a power that is went out. But you go outside the core of the cities.
Correct.
You go to tier 2, you go to tier 3. You're absolutely right. It is insane the kind of power cuts that people are seeing. I was talking to someone and said, in the last 24 hours, there's not been power. I have come out to check if there is power. Right. So that's the kind of situation that people are living in. So we've done fantastic in terms of providing access to everyone. But how do we make sure people are getting high quality power?
Correct.
And why is it important? Again, think about it this way, right? We were talking about energy. Now, the biggest source of energy going forward is going to be electricity.
Yes.
Every country has walked that path. US is at 23-24% of their energy is coming in from electricity. China has moved from tens to about 29% at this point in time. We're still at 12-13%.
Right.
Our expectation is even for India, electricity will go to about 24-25%.
And the rate at which India is expected to grow, and the aspiration that India has.
Oh yeah.
For the next decade, 2 decades, to continuously keep growing 7-8% year on year.
The quantum is huge swing, right? I mean, a simple thing like air conditioner, we're at 8-9%.
That's right.
We expect it to go to 40% penetration, which means every home more or less will have at least one AC.
At
some point, this will become basic amenities of life.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
AC not today is a luxury. I don't think the way India is becoming hotter and humid,
Yeah.
it will be a luxury anymore. It will become a necessity, and
Correct.
we don't have ways around it.
So now you started talking about decentralized energy, right? I mean, why is that important? Again, our overall electricity demand over the next 10 years is expected to go 2.5x of where we are today.
Correct.
Which means over the last 80 years, let's say since independence, the grid that we've set up, can we do it again in the next 10 years?
Yes.
No, you can't replicate the
That's
same
right.
thing.
That's right.
Yes, there will be some investments in grids, some investments in long range transmission, but the answer will come in from decentralized energy.
So, with all of these prices and everything coming down, why is it that every household is still not, or every family that we meet is still not jumping onto the bandwagon and saying, you know what, I need solar at my house?
Yeah, that's a very surprising question. Look at it this way: prices coming down,
Correct.
government pushing go solar,
That's right.
enough players in the ecosystem. I would have expected every individual to scream, "I want solar! I want solar!" Looks like nothing is happening. And when you dig deeper, the challenges are it's been made a very complex technical project for a individual home, right? That's not how people would want to look at solar. I don't understand this. I'm not going to buy it, right? Otherwise, it is like while there are a lot of players, it is so fragmented that people don't know whom to trust. In fact, we've met some one of the person that we were speaking to. We're exploring. Okay, why have you not take solar? No, we would want to go for solar. We in fact spoke to someone. We paid money, and the percentage show up.
They ran away with the money.
They ran away with the money. अब किसका भरोसा करोगे? I mean, how do you really trust whom? So that is stopping individuals. Obviously, what has happened is the large scale projects, the commercial, industrial, there are companies that you can trust, players that you can trust. That's happened. Residential segment, unfortunately, there are very few players. There's some large players, right? They're doing a fantastic job, but unfortunately, some of the large names have not focused on residential. Like without naming one manufacturer, they work through their dealers.
Yes.
Very interesting. A neighbor of mine, hey, you want to get solar done. He's got multiple quotations on what it takes. एक तो वो quotation के ना, it's like a 10 pager. जैसे हम company में we buy a project, एक B2B project, Dear XYZ, ये हमारे credentials हैं.
Correct.
भाई मैं एक I'm like a individual, right? So this guy, sorry, coming back to this person, he got two different prices from the same company because he was talking to two different
Viewers. Interesting.
Now, and this is a name that you go by trust.
Yeah.
How do you really then make out what really is happening?
This reminds me of our college days when we had to buy desktops.
Huh.
Yeah, we are from the time when there were desktops. so
You are.
Sure. You are from Pi by us. He asked for it. But having said that, in our college, when we had to buy desktops, we would ask anybody in the dorm to suggest specification. We would go to the guy who was selling desktops, and he would come with all the components. You decide your chipset, you decide your monitor, you decide your motherboard, and you just put it together. है ना, वो करके पूरा assemble करके दे देगा, and that is what you're paying.
और उसको आप assembly के पैसे भी
पैसे अलग से जोड़े.
हाँ.
And then you of course figure a way of getting it to your room also.
Correct.
But solar is in that space at this point of time. But we've seen how that market has evolved. Right? PC वाला market today तो nobody thinks about, nobody cares less.
कौन सा RAM है, कौन सा
So with that सोचते हैं कि यार मेरे को गेमिंग के लिए चाहिए, या मेरे को क्रिएटिव काम के लिए चाहिए, या होम ऑफिस के लिए चाहिए.
Correct.
Then you have the four specs that you want to give, right? You look at the budget, look at the brand that you want to buy, and you just
हाँ तो यही consumer will buy.
True.
Simplify करो, खरीदेंगे.
कि मेरे ये 2-3 प्रॉब्लम, ये 2-3 प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर दो.
Correct.
Whoever is willing to solve it,
Correct.
that is the brand I'm going to buy, that is the product I want to buy.
Correct.
I think solar has not even started on that journey.
Very interesting.
वही solve करना जरूरी है. If this market has to evolve, if the product has to evolve for the home consumer, for the residential consumer, they have to be able to make the choice on 2-3 parameters only. Everything else has to be a debate.
So are you saying going to a local assembler who assembled desktop for you, today you go to a retail store and you buying
today you have an Amazon. Correct.
or you're buying online on these e-commerce sites? Are you saying solar can go down that path?
Totally. That is the job to be done for the industry. वही तो क्या ही है मतलब all you need to know is how much roof space do I have, what is my energy consumption, which are of basically the basic can, and what's your budget.
Huh.
These are the only three things that you need to
As a consumer.
need to absolutely to care about.
Yeah.
Everything else the product has to take care, or the company who's selling the product has to take care.
Correct.
That is what it has to be.
Correct.
And I think if that premise is the pillar of what brands get built on, it is highly likely it will get built on that.
And this is a stark difference from how the industrial segment would buy and how the large scale projects obviously are set up.
Which are service oriented. Financial engineering is what is required there to be able to manage cash flows. You need to manage project execution. You need to manage post installation maintenance. So when it becomes a large company, we are very service oriented place there, which is what is required there. Understandably so, but for the end consumer, that is not the heart of the problem.
Correct.
Right. So yeah.
So rather than miniaturizing a mainframe and setting it,
Correct.
भाई हमारे लिए बनाओ
Yeah.
और हमारे लिए
हमारे लिए specifically बताओ.
right test. Okay. So this is one in terms of just the complexity and how do you break the complexity. A few other challenges that we've seen obviously in terms of whom do you trust, how do you really make that happen, and third of course just the entire overall the spend itself, right? I mean it's very interesting. If you look at an average Indian household, there, गाड़ी,
Great.
घर सबसे बड़ा, गाड़ी, अगर if you leave out kids education and if you leave out शादी, this is probably the third highest spend.
I spent.
So if you're really spending so much money, you have to make sure you know what you're getting.
Correct.
You can rely on what you're getting, and you're buying something which has an asset life of 25-30 years.
Correct.
Right?
That's right.
Unlike a TV which is few years and like an AC which is 4-5 years. This is something that you were actually buying for life.
Correct.
I was talking to one customer who was like 70 years. I was telling him, sir, 25-30 साल चलेगा. He's like, क्यों मजाक? So, but it's a good asset that families also have hand over. And
the question that we keep facing is your roads power आएगा कि नहीं आएगा?
हाँ.
Right. And I always think of say कि जब तक सूरज चांद रहेगा,
solar
power रहेगा. और क्या?
Absolutely. So, and that's what we can think of. Obviously, the certainty of the sun, bring it to your life, bring that control on your energy requirement, make that happen for any home. I think I'm set.